Okay. You guys are going to have to excuse me. I am in the middle of freaking hot flashes all week. So if I just start breaking out into a sweat, please excuse me. But I know that most of our audience is already dealing with this.
Right.
So you
And if you
can't be,
haven't, you will. So you're welcome.
oh shit. Oh my God. I'm dead. I'm just dying here.
It's all right. 'Cause we're going to start. So, by the way, hi. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Guys, we're
Uh,
going to do another happy hour. So if she doesn't
it's
have
a
a hot
steamy
flash,
topic. So we need our liquid courage is what we
yeah,
need.
we brought our liquid courage and it's a steamy topic. And so Crystal's already having a hot flash. So it's actually, maybe that's why you're getting the hot flash. Maybe because you know what we're about to talk about and you're nervous.
That could be. I mean, who knows?
Today's episode
I'm like, where do I
is
put this so
about
that I don't spill it? Okay.
today we didn't name our episode, but I'm going to name it right now. Today is getting your sexy. Not 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 necessarily how you feel sexy. Like we already had that. Like how do you
Mhm.
feel sexy? What makes you feel sexy? But
Mhm.
how do you?
Sorry, planes are flying over
Thank
now.
you for playing over my dramatic moment. How do you get sexy? You know what I'm saying? Sex drive. It's all about the sex drive today. But before we get started, shout out. Woohoo! Thank you everybody for your sweet comments and your constant
Words of encouragement, I think,
yeah,
is
that's
the
what I wanted
best
to say. Words of
way.
encouragement.
I am just so floored, and it just feel again. I say this every time. It fuels me. It makes me feel that I am not a freak,
Yeah.
and that I'm not so isolated in these crazy, like these thoughts that run through my mind. Um, I know that you and I are always going 100 miles an hour with these thoughts. I mean, it is ADHD, but these are normal, everyday um, thoughts that I think women our age are going through.
I think so too. I don't know any woman that can turn off their mind.
Hmm.
Maybe their sex drive, but
But you are really ready to. You're really
I
excited
am
about
ready to
this
get into
topic,
this
and
one.
I'm like looking at it like,
Yeah, no, you're getting into it. So, a couple of things. Number one, thank you again to all of the people that give us constant encouragement and support. So grateful for that. Also, you gotta like the button and subscribe. I know it's like especially our generation because we don't get all of this stuff, right? But they do tell us we have to say that. You have to like the little like button and then subscribe on the red button and then do something with the bell.
the like
Please.
um, button or the like. It's the little thumbs up. It's the
Yeah.
red subscribe button, and then right next to the subscribe button is the little bell. Just do all three of those, and I swear to God, we will just love you forever. Well, you
Yes.
already
Yes.
do, but this will
Yeah.
be an added bonus.
Right. 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 All right. So first thing, shout out. And then also, as far as our last episode goes, when we talked in depth about something,
The Great
because
Resignation.
oh right, the Great Resignation. So again, thank you for your comments on that. I hope that it was thought provoking for a lot of people. So
Hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean you got to jump in and do it, but it's definitely something you got to think about. But
Hmm.
that's not why we came here to talk. Today is about your sex drive, or dare I say,
Lack
lack
of. I
thereof.
was gonna say, or the lack of. I think I'm
Or
adding
the
myself
lack
here.
thereof, baby.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to that. Boom. So let's talk about a couple of things before we get into it, because Bridgerton was just released, the second season of Bridgerton,
Hmm.
which seems to be a big, hot and heavy commodity if you're looking for sex drive. I have not seen the second one yet. I did see the first one. That little John Reggae Page, is that his name?
Jean. Yeah.
Jean. Oh, okay.
Jean.
Jean. He has just come out with a car commercial. So while you won't be able to see him in Bridgerton 2, you can watch him in the car commercial. He is a sexy little beast. I'm going to give him that. He, along with this Luke Grimes on Yellowstone, makes me realize perhaps I'm not dead inside, although it's still a thought, it's a concern.
There's
So
some stirrings there.
there are stirrings, but not enough to where I'd have to shave my legs and clean up, right? Like not that far. So let's talk about sex drive and how it's changed. All right. I'll go
Well,
first. And
real quick, can
oh,
I just
sorry.
talk about how cute you look? And I love that bra.
Thank you. Really? So,
Yes.
okay. Couple of things.
Bras can be accessories too.
They should be. They
Hmm.
should be. And before I tell you all about my ensemble, I want to say how cute you look in that darling shirt
Oh,
with
thanks.
your cute
It's
little.
actually you can laugh. It is a it's not a onesie. I'm thinking kids. It's a bodysuit.
Oh, is it? That's why it lays
Yes.
so well because it's not
Yes.
bunchy when you're coming up.
Which is a
Yeah,
great idea until you have to go to the restroom.
that's the thing. That's why I don't do them. Jumpsuits are the same thing.
Yeah,
And by
jumpsuits, rompers.
as soon and when I got to go to the bathroom, it's now.
Hmm.
It's not like it's like it's the weirdest thing. I guess my bladder's fallen as well as everything else. As soon as I feel like I got to go, I got to go, and then I'm literally like pulling and then
Hmm.
whatever. Anyway, adorable on you,
Thank
adorable.
you. This is actually a piece from my studio. Like, okay, so you know that I shoot boudoir. I do have pieces in there, and a lot of people think that you have to be completely naked or like have sexy lingerie. And I swear, some of the sexiest and steamiest shoots have been either with a bodysuit, something like this, or even just like a t-shirt or a sheet or a loose sweater.
Yeah,
So, I think that goes to so before we even delve into it, I think it has to do with where your state of mind is.
totally. I
Mhm.
totally agree with you. And it's funny that you bring up this outfit because I do want to double back just a sec with the bra. The bra really is a statement piece, and I'm really fortunate. And you guys have one out west. I have Lavana bra teak. You have what do you have?
I have Lucy's boudoir.
She has Lucy's. She has. You have Lucy's boudoir, and I can actually find bras that fit my size as a woman of my size, and not just the fact that I'm full figured, but even my age, right? Because there's things that go on with your with the chest. And
No one
I
talks
have
about how there's um, sag or loosened skin.
yeah, there's loosened skin and stuff. But these bras, not only do they lift and separate and do everything that Cross Your Heart said that they would and didn't, but they take the pressure off of my shoulders, right?
Mhm.
Because the work is actually happening here in the bodice. And I will say this, I love this detail. I have one in black that's really cute, but just and then this cute little sweater thingy is from Tabby, but a friend of mine had a party, Vicky, and if you're watching this, look, I'm wearing it. But I do want to say something. Talking about sexy for a sec. I didn't quite realize it, but in my youth, and I thought of what I would look like as I was older and being sexy, so to speak. It's kind of funny that I kind of had this in mind. Like I knew I was going to be a bigger girl. Down deep, I always knew that.
Mhm.
Um, and that I always wanted a bra that I felt was that did the job, but also was almost a statement piece, like you said, like an accessory. And I'm really fortunate to have found a bra company. This is a Lomi, I believe.
Mhm. That's interesting that you said that you visualized yourself, how you were going to look, and I never did. And I think that comes from losing my sister around and you were around, but around my 20s. And so I couldn't visualize myself older because I was afraid to.
Yeah. Yes. So wow, big, big. That makes
Mhm.
complete sense.
Mhm.
Complete sense. Yeah, because you went through something that most people don't have to go through until they're much older. When I was when that happened with your sister, I don't think I had only known one person at that point in my life, in my close circle, that
Mm-hmm.
had passed,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't a sister, nothing like that. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I had gotten much older. And so for you, that would be, I can only imagine being 20 years old, 21 years old, and having something like that really shape you.
Mm-hmm. And it did. And but I also had really great friends. I remember seeing your face, looking up in the crowd and seeing your face at my sister's service. And you and I think you went with Jeff,
Yeah,
my roommate, or one was one of my roommates,
yeah.
and just seeing your faces and out of the sea of people, those were like your faces were like home, and it was just so precious that you guys took time out of your busy day to show up for me like that.
Oh my God, we wouldn't have missed it. And Dave was there too. I remember that because
Oh
I
yeah.
remember, yes, I
Oh god.
remember.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay. That's all right. And it was a sea of people. I'll never forget that as long as I live. I've never been to a funeral where there's been, and I've been to a couple
Mhm.
with, a large funeral,
Mhm.
but George's was the biggest I've ever been to,
Mhm.
and that just
Mhm.
shows how many people she touched and how special. But that was just a special time for us too, because we knew we
Mhm.
didn't know, but we got it, and we just wanted to be there for you.
I
But
think, yeah, and and that's always stuck with me. But that you bring up a good point, though. I think with that kind of made an impact on both of us, telling us how, um, kind of shaping us in a direction that we wanted to go, where we wanted to be impactful, and giving us that message where I think we talked about this in the last episode, was where do you want to leave your legacy? Where do you want to leave your mark?
right, right.
Um, and I think that was one of those things, those defining moments that kind of steered us in the direction that
Mhm,
we eventually are in now.
mhm. Yeah, because we're not very, and you are born with it, I think. I've always
Mhm.
wanted to help people. I always wanted to be a teacher when I was younger. And my family was like, I can't be a teacher. You and I are both products and verdicts, visions of that. But at any rate, we were so off topic. But yes, we want to help people.
Even if it means in some of this, like, uncomfortable subjects, like
Like
that were,
sexy,
which
we're
were,
sexy.
which in our day was still kind of taboo.
Oh, absolutely. And it's our upbringing. I feel that still affects me as a
Oh,
sexy person.
yes, mine.
I'm right. Like I've never been free to be sexy. I've always covered my sexy. So I'm trying
I was
to.
closet sexy.
You were
But I
closet
also
sexy.
think there was, like, the only time that they looked at back then. Okay, so number one, there was no interracial dating. Really,
No,
it was just happening right
right,
when I started dating, when I became of age. And if there was some, people stared at you like,
mhm,
um, it was just the weirdest thing.
mhm.
Um, but the other thing was, the only other time you really saw like a sexy Asian woman was in porn.
I know.
So there was that little mix there.
Right,
You were in the like where the military bases were.
right.
Oh,
Well,
I mean, Miss Saigon, for God's sakes.
yeah, that's true too. And for somebody that was built like me, you were either in Hustler. I don't even think you got to make Playboy. Playboy was more tame than somebody with big boobs and big butt. I got to
Mhm.
be seen maybe in a Hustler, or you
Mhm.
know, one time I did a photo shoot in my 20s, and I asked the guy, "So how's and he's like, "Oh, well, we got a lot of overseas action, like porn, Japanese porn." No, for real. And I was clothed. So what does that? So I remember that sticking with me, going, "Oh my god, like
Mhm.
I got to cover this shit up." But
Mhm.
anyway, so let's talk about taking it off. Let's talk about stripping down. So she's avoiding. Do you see how she's going into all of this stuff about our childhood and blah, blah, blah? It's
I
lovely, but
am.
that's not
I
what we're
am.
here for.
Oh
We're
my
here.
god. Boy, you just like really like
Don't piss me. Don't mess with me. I've had 3 sips. All right. So now the
three
first thing,
sips and no breakfast.
3 sips and no and no breakfast. That's you. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about sex drive. First of all, I want to talk about our sex drive when we were younger. I know that you were closet sexy. But we still had a big sex drive. So I even had a big sex drive. Even I had a big sex drive. And do you remember feeling like I could, because I remember this, and sometimes I think about it. I'm like, what would it be like to not care where you are, to
Mm-hmm.
not care what you have on, to not care whether the last time you shaved or bathed, okay, and just ready. It even could be in the sand. Like now I'm like, ooh, sand?
Friction.
Yes, I'll get a yeast infection, or I don't want to clean that up.
Or
Or
not even worrying about was this going to lead to somewhere? Is he going to respect me? Blah blah blah. You just had to drive.
had to do it. You had to
Yeah.
do it. It could be on steps because I don't know where I got that from.
Oh well, I mean, we were a lot more bendy back then.
We were bendy. Like that's another thing. I see it in shows and they're like in a shower. And
And
I'm
I
like,
was
some
like,
of
wow,
them like,
she's flexible.
yeah. And I'm thinking, I don't think I could get lifted like that.
Okay, I'm
And if I
having
did,
hot flash. It has nothing to do with the topic. I've been hot
yeah,
flashing
right. Yeah,
for the
right.
last 2 weeks.
She's one
And
big hot flash,
okay, go on.
which is a reason, well, the red wine's helping that, but okay, I'm just saying.
But this
So
this was before I started drinking, but go
you're
ahead.
right, you're right, but this will help. So anyway, so like, yeah, like this woman gets hoisted. She's in the shower. They're in the shower. They're like going at it, like whatever. And I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna break the shower. B, I'm not there for that. I'm there
Mhm.
to get clean. C, um, I don't think he could lift me like that. So, and that's a thing too. We should really talk about are the positions that change as you get older. I'm sorry, but it's a thing.
Okay,
Like, okay, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, I'm
No,
gonna say that none of those positions that Hollywood portrays honestly lead you to an orgasm. Honestly, no. Right?
no, because
It's
think about
unrealistic. It's
think
visually
about
pretty,
how right,
visually sexy,
but
but
how are you
none of
going to
those
have
have ever, ever, ever
no,
led me to be in a
no.
good. No.
In that way. How are you ever though going to think about this? The muscle control that has to happen even in that position. How do you let go enough
Mhm.
to do
Well, yeah, I'm always thinking of like, okay, I'm not going to fall. What's he
yes,
thinking about? Um, is he looking at my belly? Uh,
yes.
yeah.
Well, that's just so us. God, to be
I
so
mean, do other women
unbridled.
think that? I know that I did. I was always really
Oh,
self-conscious of my
always. How
body.
can you be unbridled and have this great sex when all you're thinking about is my belly hanging out, is my butt not my best shot, the whole,
Mhm.
how can you do that? We have been so screwed over. I'm sorry, as a generation, because it's not just us, but these younger kids today, they don't have that going on. I'm telling you, they
Well,
don't.
because they're prepared.
Yes. I mean, for us, it was just, there was just too much going into it. There was too much. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're so heady now. No
Mhm.
pun intended. I mean,
Well,
because
yes and no.
you don't think? I think
I
I can't turn off my cerebral. I'm so friggin' in my head all the
I
time. And it's not
well,
just
I
about what I love about
honestly
people.
think that what happened is that Hollywood got to us.
Yeah,
That it's just like the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? We all thought we were had to be like Marsha to be like and had this happy childhood, and that's not necessarily true.
right.
Same thing with the way Hollywood portrays sex is in their scenes, um, and even porn. That none of that is really absolutely realistic for a guy, maybe, but not for a woman.
Well, isn't Hollywood run by men? I mean, it's getting better, but you're right.
Mhm.
I think sex scenes will change when women kind of step up and when women are more represented.
Right.
But let's talk. You're right. So okay. But we're actually here for the fundamentals a little bit because I don't know about you, but I'm not as I was going to say something so coarse and crass, but I'm a little dried up, and a lot of people
Well, that
are.
okay. It isn't because by choice, though. You're why
No,
are you all? Because you were forced into medical
I was.
menopause,
I was forced
surgical
into medical
menopause,
menopause.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But we're getting to a point where a lot of women are finally catching up to me because everyone's going into a natural menopause, and so the thinning. So there is literally a thinning of the uterine lining. You need to understand that. So
Mhm.
if you're trying to have intercourse or in some manner in that and it hurts, it may feel like it burns almost. That's really dry, raw skin, and it's an atrophy in the vagina. That is from, and that's true. That's real. You're not crazy. You don't need an emotional therapist to talk that through. That's really real. There's things that you can do about that through like lubrication, obviously. So lubrication when you have sex, but also lubrication when you don't. So there's a product out there called Refresh, Phresh, and that actually it's a gel, and they say it's an odor eliminator and a comfort type thing. It
Really?
lasts three, yeah, yeah, it lasts 3 or 4 days. You want to insert that with the plunger. But that's a maintenance thing,
Like
right? Like that's
like the plunger, not like a restroom plunger, a different type of plunger.
no, the restroom plunger. You're going to put it there, and then you just
Because I was all like,
no.
I'm like, now I have to be flexible to do that.
God, it's like a story from Catherine the Great.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's
So
a
wait a second. On this refresh thing, is this something that you need a prescription for? Is this
no. We're frozy. At some point, someone's going to break up and talk. I just know it. In the meantime, I'll just dance a little bit and see what happens. Ba-boo, ba-boo, ba-boo,
something you
ba-boo.
can buy on Amazon Prime in a brown bag?
Yeah. So, okay, listen, you froze up a little bit, but I'm going to talk. So if I'm frozen, just let me know. So, refresh is something you get. Can you hear me? Am I
Yep.
okay? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So, refresh is something that you can get at the store. So, your local grocery store will have it. If they have a pharmacy section, Walmart's going to carry it, CVS, Rite Aid, all those places.
Okay.
And you're going to, okay, so you're going to find it in the vaginal care section, which whatever they call it. I get pissed when they have like pads next to depends, feminine, uh, sanitary, whatever, blah, blah, sanitation. But and it is so and okay, Vagisil is another one. So that's where you're going to find this Vagisil Refresh. Vagisil is I actually use Vagisil not so much for the wipes, odor wipes, but I use it as a cleanser in the shower because a lot of times your doctor is going to say, well, don't use soap down there. Because I usually
Really?
get yes, 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 you lucky girl that you did not know that. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Because soap is extra drying. And it can cause
Oh,
yes, it can cause yeast infections and all kinds of fun things down there. So the doctor, like my gynecologist is like, don't use soap, just use water. And I'm thinking, I don't know what you do for a living, lady, but water ain't gonna cut it.
water's
Especially
not
after
gonna. Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know.
yeah. So I use so Vagisil and Refresh, and then you'll get like all of the generic versions of this shit. But
Okay.
I
Is
use
it
the
expensive? Wait. Let's
yeah.
get that out there.
Okay, it's not. I mean,
Mhm.
define expensive. It's 15.95. Isn't it
Oh, that's not
strange?
bad.
I know, and I know
Okay.
all this shit. So it's
Okay, wait, real quick. Do you remember Seinfeld? In the episode about the sponges and they were being discontinued. And
no, but
Elaine,
I got a story about that. Go ahead.
so Elaine buys up all the sponges at every place she can find. And then she does this whole thing about is he sponge worthy? And so the closing scene is her interviewing a guy and then checking off the list, and then she's like, "All right, let's go." And they head off to the bedroom. But now it's going to be like, okay, well, 15.99 for what, a bottle or two?
Yeah, it's
Then you're going to be like,
15.95, but it's 4 plungers, and each plunger lasts 3 days. So it's gonna last you almost a month, right? No, what am I
so
saying?
yeah, you
3
could
weeks.
say, is this person refresh
Right.
worthy?
But and but here's the thing, Crystal, that's not just for sex. Like, that's just in general,
Really?
okay?
I'm
Yeah,
looking
like you
it up
said.
right now.
So I have, yeah, look it up. So I use it. So again, I'm in, menopause and all that happy horse shit. And so when, there's things that happen down there, sometimes it's actually uncomfortable just to sit sometimes because you're dry. So
Mhm.
I go ahead and I insert that, and then I'll use like Astroglide or something when I actually do, especially coconut oil. I love me the virgin coconut oil, and so does my husband. And I hope he never watches this.
Okay, so you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
There is the oral capsules, and then there's the, what you call it, the plunger.
Yes. Well, the oral capsules is for vaginal health, right? Those are
Hmm.
probiotics and prebiotics. The actual gel itself has a cling formula to it, so it clings up there and it doesn't all come out.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Coconut oil, by the way, if you're prone to infections at all, like bacterial infections and yeast infections, coconut oil is antimicrobial and antifungal. So if you are looking to do that,
Hmm.
that's something else you should be using as well. And
And
the
that
first
you
one,
can just apply like,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So like, here's what I do. Okay. I'm so glad this is on YouTube.
But you know what I mean? These are things that women want to know as far as in, okay, so
Yeah. And I
coconut
love
oil, do I
I love
ingest
it.
it? Do I,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
I love that it's always me, but okay. So,
You're
um,
just so much well rounded and well
yeah,
versed
yeah,
in women's bodies. And,
right.
that's so neat. I think so.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, um, okay. So,
Finger guns.
anyway, so I like a virgin coconut oil for a couple
Mhm.
reasons. I cook with coconut oil. I take my makeup off with coconut oil. I can put coconut oil in my hair. It's completely natural. And that same coconut oil is what I use for those occasions.
Okay.
And what happens is, yes, you just take it with your hand, okay, and whatever. There's no, I mean, they do sell like coconut suppositories and stuff. I believe in
Mhm.
like in that kind of a thing. I don't bother with it because I was doing it before it was cool.
Okay.
And I remember the first time that I did do it, I remember thinking to myself, I had read about it, and I remember going, "Oh, I was terrified. I'm going to get a yeast infection. I'm going to get a vaginal infection. This is crazy." And then I had this moment where I was like, "You don't think anything about throwing up there some, Monistat or Fire and Ice or all that other crap that they sell, right? That really does give me infections and stuff."
Mhm.
So, but this goes. So I put that on, just like a lube. You can also do it that way if you're having sex.
Mhm.
We generally do that kind of a thing. And even he will say, "Yeah, I kind of like the smell because like it smells like the beach." So, but the good part of the beach,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Pina colada.
The pina colada beach, not
I'm on
the,
vaca
not
I'm on vacation beach.
on vacation beach, not the tuna
Mhm.
caught in the net beach. Anyway,
You always go there though. You
I know, disgusting.
Okay, so all right. And, yeah, I never thought to use coconut oil down there. I used it for my hair, I used it for my skin, I used it for cooking. And I've done that for years, but never thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so
And it
it
helps as a lube. It doesn't dry out.
absolutely no. It's wonderful.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
wonderful. But
I
on
need.
top of that, it prevents. So I'm prone to sinus and bacterial sinus. That too. I'm prone to yeast and bacterial infections.
I'm like, how does it affect your son?
Oh yeah. So
True.
I'm I'm prone to those things. And
Okay.
pardon me. So the this for some reason, if I'm and look, I'm lazy. So there's times where I'm like, I
You
don't
are
feel like
not
getting up.
lazy. You just, oh my God, stop beating yourself up. There. That
Well,
was,
I get tired, I'm saying. So like on the
I
times
don't
that I don't,
have time is
okay,
different,
that's probably it. That's
right?
probably it.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. On the times that we have when we don't use it, I will get a yeast or a bacterial
Mm.
infection.
Oh, really?
Like 90,
Okay.
yes, yes. But when we do, I don't. So it's really it's a great thing and it's completely natural. And if and it's really not as expensive as some of the stuff that they're selling over, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so okay, so lubrication. So there's KY jelly, there's Astroglide, they have water-based now as well as
Mhm.
right.
KY is
So
mine. It's easiest. It's right around there. Um,
right.
can't I can't have sex without it now, honestly.
No, of course not. Nobody can.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. So, like back in the day, that's what I'm talking about. It didn't matter where, how, where, other than your own mental,
Mhm.
deal, right? Like it
Like,
was,
if he
it
didn't
was
do it for you, he didn't do it for you, and, there's not
that was
enough
it,
mountain lube.
right? But now, if he does do it for you, it don't matter. You
You
still need
still
the
need
lube.
help. You
You
still need
still
help.
need help. You
You
still
need
need
some
help, and that's
assistance.
okay. And that's
Mhm.
okay. The other thing too is like being in your head. So, I had a mental professional, so a therapist actually, tell me
Mhm.
that really intelligent people have a harder time with getting into sex because they can't stop thinking. And so,
And women in
and
general, I
women in
think, not even
general,
just okay, yeah, we are intelligent beings, but I
yes,
just think that we are so, um, in our heads about what, uh, that we're not deserving of it because we don't have a perfect body. Because Hollywood or media has gotten into our heads and saying that only, and it's not even a literal message, it's the overt message in all those sex scenes. You know what I mean?
right,
You don't see
right,
a woman with rolls. You don't see a
yeah,
woman with skin sag or stretch marks enjoying or having incredible sex. Always in these movies, it's always this woman that is abs, hot,
mhm,
in hair and just,
mhm, mhm,
what they enforce in all the ads,
mhm,
of
mhm,
perfection,
mhm,
that you think, okay, well, I'm not going to look like that, so therefore I am not going to, my partner's not going to enjoy sex with me or not enjoy looking at me naked.
right. And let's be real. When's the last time? And now I can't say this for everyone because I know that this is so, but usually it's not about you. So we're going to talk two things about that. Number one, when's the last time your husband said, "Oh, I can't sleep with you right now. I'm all I can do is look at your belly roll."
Ever, never.
Ever, ever. Okay. With that said, though, there are women that do experience that, right? So,
Mhm.
and I know of a lot of women whose husbands have turned off because, and they literally say it's their fault, whether it's the way they look or whatever, they can't get
Mhm.
turned on. And let me wholehearted listen to me and read my lips. This is not about you. This is about them. The
Absolutely,
problem is
absolutely.
theirs, and they can't wrap their heads around it. They can't admit it, so they're
Mhm.
pulling it out on you. So
Well, I
when you
mean, then
have,
they're not really looking at you with eyes of love.
oh no, they're totally messed up. I'm
And
sorry.
there's
I
no, and
okay,
there's,
wait,
and then there's no mental connection. And I know
no,
for me, even back then, is it's always had to be a mental connection for me
yes,
to like really feel like I can get into it.
yes, yes, absolutely. That's women in general. I mean, that's just how we're built.
Yes.
And that brings us to the next thing. So when we were talking about cerebral, and it's not just, so you're right. A lot of it does have to be how do I look in this moment? What am I, what, especially when I was younger, I'm like, what should I say? Like some
Mhm.
guys are like, I like it when you talk dirty. I'm like, I can't. Like it feels like I,
The floor's dirty. What?
I know. And
Dirty
then, but
dishes. There's more
exactly,
on the wall.
exactly, exactly. But then a lot of women can, obviously that's why
I
they're
can
saying,
now, but that was from working in a restaurant. That was working with a whole bunch of nasty ass guys that we worked with, right?
I know, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I have the dirtiest, foulest mouth in person. But then
Hmm.
get me into bed, I'm like, but a lot of women, a lot of women don't have that, right? Like a
And
lot of women are fine with it.
I
But
think too, it depends on the relationship because I know that, like, like the father of your children is not ready to hear that out of your mouth, right?
I do not believe that. The father of my children would be thrilled to hear that out of my mouth. I don't believe it for 1 second. But for me, I will tell you my biggest hang up when you talk about being in your head and worried about what you look like and stuff. Yes, I have that much more so when I was younger, but now I can't turn off. Did we lock the door?
Oh
Can
God.
someone hear me? I can't. I can't. What's and we said, what's the dog doing right now?
Hmm.
He's tearing up the house more than likely. Is
Hmm.
um uh did I pay that bill? Why I think about that during sex is beyond me.
Who's
I
home
don't
right now and who's awake?
Yes. Yes, I can't seem, oh, I got to do this tomorrow. How long
Mhm.
is this going to take? Because, you know, I got to go to
I
bed. I have an
I have
early
a
day.
doctor's appointment tomorrow, so
Yeah. Or I took it, damn it. I'm going to have to clean up after this. We got to like move here.
God, you know what? I had to take a shower again.
Yes, I really do. These are the things I think about. And these are not things that I thought about when I was younger, right? I was like,
Mm-mm.
whatever, it's all worth it. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I think it was almost like us walking into work with disheveled hair,
Right.
and
Right.
we're all looking at each other like,
Right. 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 Right.
"Oh,
Right. Like,
you were
oh,
late to
yeah.
work again."
And back then it was a feeling of, and we're gonna have to clean this up a little bit, okay? Because I think the line's getting, but back then, if you were sore the next day,
Mhm.
it was kind of like that happened. Now it's like, God damn it. Ugh,
I have
jeez.
so many things to do today.
Yeah. I'm like, don't come near me. Don't come near me. It hurts. Okay, so let's talk about then what do you do? What do you do? Because we all want to be sexy. We
Mhm.
do. We all want to have sex again. Let's be real. You can
Uh-huh.
say, I can sit here and tell you exactly what I think about it. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. But I really, deep down, I
I
really,
I think you do. I think you do go through phases because there were, I would say, a really long period like that I didn't want to, and it wasn't because of my husband or anything of that sort. It was just all the changes going on with my body.
right,
Um, for God's sakes, I had a period for over a year, like
right.
nonstop. Who wants to have sex?
Nobody.
Not
Well,
me.
that's
And my poor
totally,
husband. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So there's all those physical changes that are happening. Again, like we're kind of blindsided. We've got those blinders on thinking that our bodies need to be a certain way to feel pleasure, to deserve pleasure, and also get out of our heads. If I look a certain way, I won't be so self conscious.
yeah. Well, that goes back to everything we talk about, right? It's
Right.
always like that. If I lose 5 pounds, if I lose 10, if I lose 20, I'll be happy.
Mhm.
It's such
And then you
bullshit.
do, and then you're still in that situation, right?
You're still in that situation. Um,
But
my grandmother,
let's also talk about though, like because we forget about ourselves, we're taking care of everyone else, that we accept being invisible.
yeah, yes. How long that went on for a long time. I can
Decades,
remember
decades, decades.
decades. I can remember being when I think when Sydney was little, I think maybe when Sid was little, I had this kind of resurgence, and we're talking 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had this kind of resurgence where I was like, oh, I want to be a woman again. I want to be noticed. I want,
Mm-hmm.
I remembered what it was like that I took for granted, by the way, when I was younger. I really did take for
I think we
granted.
all did. Remember how
Yeah.
you like when you look at pictures and you thought you were fat, and then you're
Yeah.
like, God, I wish I was that fat.
Oh my
I wish
God. And my
I
mother used to
was.
tell me that all the time, but you don't listen to your parents.
Mm-mm.
But this and that and even male attention. I can remember being put off by a lot of male attention. It's this sounds really it was time consuming where it was like, look, dude, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B, and I
Mhm,
have something going on right now. I don't
mhm,
really want to stop and either A, talk to you, B, set you down nicely.
mhm.
You know, um,
Well, our
you
head
just
wasn't there.
no,
Our
even
mindset wasn't there.
no. I can remember too thinking, I got 5 minutes to myself. I'm listening to this shit. Are you
Mhm.
kidding me? You know what I
Right.
mean? I can remember telling guys too, although I mean it's true I was vocal, but probably not as vocal as I should have been. But I do remember saying things like, "Look, I'm here with my girls tonight. This isn't really what I'm doing."
Mhm,
And or okay, all of that.
mhm.
Flash forward 15 years, and I'm like, "How come nobody notices me?
The whole
How come
invisible
no
thing.
one's whistling at me? How come that
Mhm,
guy's not looking me at the traffic light? I don't
mhm.
understand." Where
Well,
where when I was younger, it was really an imposition.
I drove the invisible, Wonder Woman car. Literally, I was in the minivan. No one sees you, not even the cops. So, talk about, like, you really want to not attract anybody? Drive a minivan, because I had one for a few years and I loved it. I loved that car. I freaking love that car. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's not conducive to
Right.
anything
Now that
sexy.
you mention it, I'm in a Ford Explorer.
Hmm.
Honk if you're horny. But I still think I still think though that at some point there is a resurgence, right? There's
Yes,
a
there is,
reawakening.
and I can tell you for me that it didn't happen until I started to connect with myself.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it wasn't even like, again, like feeling, it had nothing to do with my physical appearance. I started doing things for myself. I started finding things out that I liked. um, I always thought that exercise was something that you had to do, um, like rigorous and just where it's jarring your
Right,
joints and everything. And I found out that yoga and Pilates for me, um, made me happy. And I realized that there are different forms of exercise and different forms to make your body healthy. So,
right.
so
Which is
that.
the whole that's what exercise is supposed to be about, but
Mhm,
it's been made ugly really and
mhm,
churned and turned into something that it really isn't supposed to be about. It's about
mhm,
aesthetics
mhm.
and it's a moneymaker. So why do they do that? Because it makes money,
Well,
right?
yeah, and it ties
Um,
into the whole media thing too. Or
sure.
if you look a certain way, you're going to enjoy sex more. You're going to,
Right,
attract blah blah blah. And
right.
that's maybe for a small percentage. But there's us that have the real bodies, the
Yeah,
that have been through the ringer.
right. And again, if your partner is somebody that needs perfection in order to be satisfied, then that's your
Mhm.
partner and not you. Years ago, yeah,
Oh no, I was just gonna say that, it can be sometimes us projecting our
well, that's
preconceived
true too.
notions onto our partner.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Years ago, when I was a teenager, I spent the night at someone's house, a friend of mine's house. It's so funny because if she doesn't even know this story, and if she ever listened to this, I wonder if she'll catch on. So I was in high school and I spent the night at her house. And her parents were a little older,
Mhm,
and they were a little older, and they weren't concerned about their body at all. Not that they were hideous or ugly; they were lovely people. They just weren't like ridiculous into the way that okay. And
mhm.
so as a youngster, I look at these people and I see maybe like a portly figure type thing, right? Old people,
Head
portly.
bod.
Yeah. And then
I find
something,
incredibly attractive. I don't know why. I just do.
what, fat people?
No, dad bods. I
Oh,
just
dad bods. I'm all, what, fat people? That's a thing. But okay, not even a dad bod. We're talking a little older than that. Okay.
okay.
Grandpa bod. So at least when I was 17, it looked like a grandpa bod, and she looked like a
Hmm.
grandma bod, even though that was her parents. And somehow, I can't remember how it came up. I think she told me how they do it like every night. And one time she caught them or something doing it. And I was like, and the first thing,
Only because I caught mine once, and I was like,
did you?
yes, it was awful.
And that's a shit though you bring to your own bed. I never want my kid to catch me doing that because I remember how grossed out I was when I caught my, you know?
Yeah, and it's two. There's two sides to it though, because you got to think that okay, it's healthy, and that you will do it when you're older. But then it's like, ew,
Ew.
right?
Do
It
you know
should
that in
be
colonial times,
natural.
I'm sorry, do you know that in colonial times they shared the same bed and they did it with their kids in the same bed?
I'm sure the kids were out cold though. I'm hoping. I mean, that's what will help me sleep at night. Yes, yeah.
I don't know, but look how closed off we are to it. But anyway, I
I mean,
digress.
yeah, optimal conditions like the
Yeah.
kids can be
The,
home or they need to be like
yeah.
dead asleep
The
or
point that I'm trying to make is that these two found each other very attractive and very satisfactory.
mhm,
And so it was the whole nonsense of the perfect body and all that garbage did
mhm,
really come later.
mhm,
Um, and I also feel that we have a lot more pressure on us as people. I don't even believe women in as much as though it is women, but in people in general, we have so much pressure on us. How in the hell do you relax enough to let that down and go? Because that's what needs to happen as you get older. When you're
so
younger, oh, go ahead.
how do men do it? I'm curious.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, a couple of things. I have children now that are, in their 20s. One of them, anyway. And so, talking to hopefully he never sees it. Talking to people like that, their sex drive isn't the same as ours was at that age because they're fucking buried in things to do.
Mhm,
The college life that kids have today is not the college life that you and I had at all. I don't believe they're enjoying themselves at all. And I think one of the reasons that they drink to excess and nearly kill themselves drinking is because of the stress.
mhm,
I remember being in school and them saying, don't, especially the first semester, don't take more than 12 to 14 units your first semester. Kids
mhm.
now are like taking 24 units. 24 units was the superhuman God, right? My
Why do
kids
they
been
take 24 units? I mean,
in order to graduate in 4 years, otherwise you can't.
really?
Yeah. Yep. My kid's been taking 24 units for 4 years and doing
Oh
all
my
the
gosh.
extracurricular activities. Yes.
I mean, isn't like couldn't you have okay, never mind.
Well, he could go 6 or 7 years.
Well, I mean, there's like the
Yeah.
summer and the
Yes.
fall.
Yes.
Take an
But
extra
that's
class.
money.
I mean,
But
not
that's
fall,
extra money.
winter.
It's
But some of
extra
them
money.
offer it. Like I know my daughter's school offered it. Like the winter session was you were allowed one winter session, but no one took it because they were so burned out.
Well, they're burned out. And again, I hate to say it again, money, money, money. So Zach
Hmm.
has a really great scholarship,
Hmm.
but that doesn't apply to summer. That
Hmm.
doesn't, and it's only for 4 years. And it's $45,000 a semester, which is bullshit. Do you really? Okay, we digress. Can we go back to
We're
sex?
digressing. Um,
Talk about sex,
okay,
baby.
back there.
Let's talk
I
about
know we're really
women.
talking about the antithesis of sex because then we
Yeah.
think
But here's the thing. That's why we can't have sex. That's why I can't relax enough. Oh my God, Zach's tuition. Is he gonna graduate? I don't know. Oh. So terrible. Okay, back
He's
to what we're
probably
talking
like mortified right now that
about. Like,
that he would even
no,
be on your mind during during intimate moments,
but that mortifies me. That's
right?
what, like, I'm dead serious. It mortifies me.
Mm,
Even like, and then I feel guilt about that, right? I'm like,
mhm,
I'm thinking about my kid. Ew, am I a pedophile? Blah.
mm,
Or, even when, not that God, I'm thinking about my kid in terms of tuition, college tuition, not like I'm thinking about my kid. Like
yeah.
everybody
Oh,
thinks,
yeah. But
okay,
just the
maybe
fact that all this stuff pops up
that's what
during.
pops up. It pops up like, my brother was getting married and I'm thinking about his wedding. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Or I'm thinking about, like I said, I got to get up in the morning, or, I got to take Sid to the doctor.
mhm.
But then again, I have this like flashback. So not only then I beat myself up because I'm thinking about that and I'm not in the moment. And then I beat myself up because of what you said, like I'm like, ew, I'm thinking about my kids.
I should be present, but
Yes,
I'm not.
I'm not. And
Mm,
I don't think it matters, by the way, who's in the bed with me. I don't care if it's Kevin Costner. I don't care if it's Brad Pitt. I don't care if it's my husband.
mhm.
I don't care. I'm always going to be, that's where my head is. Because if it was
So,
with Brad Pitt,
and I think that's why it's so hard because for men, it it doesn't take much to reach
they're
the
not
big
mental
goal.
like us. They're
Yeah.
visual.
Yes, they're visual, and that's why we can't get out of our heads on that in
Right.
that situation. But also, like yeah, like it takes me a lot to to
Mm-hmm.
focus to get to that point, and I can never get to that point because I like there's so much radio static in my head. So
Yeah. So what do you do?
how do you get in the mood? How do you get to even to that point to be in the mood? Um, and B, how do you enjoy it? How do you stay in the moment?
Okay, that just made me laugh because you're really on C. So, okay. So, first
I'm
of
really
all,
what?
you were really on C. You're like A, and you had like two parts to A, and then you had
Oh,
C.
I just said A, and C.
Right. Okay.
A, A, B, and
A,
okay,
A, B, C. Okay, so
okay.
here's what I think. Now, this is what is working for me. Number one, you got to have your shit in place, right? Like you have to have your movies and all your little because that plays with your mind too. If you're like, this is going to be painful, how excited are you going to be? So you got to have that in place. Number two, you have got to. For me, it takes me a day. So I can't
So
be.
there's
I
no
shouldn't.
spontaneity, right?
Right. Like there's not a whole lot of.
Let's
There might be.
ladies, let's just be real here. There's no more spontaneity at our age.
No, there's really not. There's a little bit more. So like I actually heard, but again, this was his take on it. So I heard Barack Obama say something about now that the kids are gone, they do what they do when they want to do what they do. And I'm like, that's what you're thinking. What's Michelle thinking? Okay. But
Yeah,
I
we want
think
to hear what he's saying. We want to hear what the woman's saying.
yeah. He's like, we do what we do.
There's a
I'm like,
lot. Yeah, there's a lot more behind the scenes in every situation, and
right,
it's usually the woman doing it.
right,
So, okay.
right.
So
So
for you, let's hear it from you.
for me, I need to have a clean slate. I
Is
need to know. What I mean by clean slate is I need to know that I can shut down and enjoy myself in the moment and not worry about anything else. I need to know that the kids are either out of the house or I'm at a hotel. Or I need to know that, the dog is in his crate. I need to know that the door is locked. I need to know that I'm free to be me, and not fear of other people coming in. I need to have time to devote upon myself in the sense that, it does mean more to me now. I need to be groomed a little bit, obviously, to my own satisfaction. I need
Mhm.
to maybe wear underwear that make me feel good about myself. Um, and I need to relax. I think that's the big thing. How do you have your relax time? How do you get to your relax time? Is it a drink? Is it CBD? I don't know, but
Mhm.
that's what I need to do. For me, it's all about relaxation
So
and a lot of variables out.
so
Variables.
all those variables, do all those variables have to take place, or does it just one or two? Um,
Mm. I hate to tell you this, but it's like a
yes,
lot of the like it's all
yes.
there,
You're like, yes, all the variables.
all of
Yes,
them.
all of
So
them.
all of them.
All
I
of
will tell you
them. Yes.
all of them. I will tell you this. I still have people living in my home. I can't do it. They
Okay.
can hear me. I'm on that same side of the house. I have a really hard time.
Mm.
And I've known families where, when I was younger, where the kids were like, "Oh, my mom and dad are in their bedroom now, so we have to stay in this part of the house." They have like a locked door policy or something. I was like, "Ew,
First,
ew."
but I mean, I do you think with that, do you think those, I mean, we got to ask those friends of yours, are they traumatized now? Or did
But
it
the ones
set
that saw the
an,
sex,
or, I mean, you know what I mean? Like they knew about their parents having sex and heard it. And is it like set a precedence for normalcy?
I don't
And
know. That's a
you
good
know what I mean?
question.
And being uninhibited.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, I'm like, who are these friends? Let's call them. I want to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You're absolutely right because then
I mean, that
we've
makes
been
me think
raised
that.
to believe that that would be negative, like that would be traumatizing. Although I know a story that I would love to tell, but I can't because she would flipping kill me and she would know who she is. I
Yeah,
can't tell
she
you.
would know. Okay.
And her kid was traumatized.
Okay.
Mhm.
So for me, it's really, I I think I just need to be connected with myself. So I need to feel like um I need to feel good about myself. And I'm not saying like physically, but I accomplished something that week, or I made an impact, or you know what I mean? I connected somehow.
My God, Crystal, that's even worse than me. Do you hear yourself? I can't have sex because I'm worried about my kid hearing me. You're like, I can't have sex unless I've done something for the universe this week. It doesn't make any sense.
That I've accomplished something.
I've
That I
accomplished
made a
something, therefore
difference.
I've earned the right to have sex.
But I mean, for us though, because of the jobs that we do, the work that we do, that's it's not a big stretch. Like
No,
I, so it's not like I'm trying to solve the universe or anything, but because we're you and I spend our everyday lives connecting with people and helping people. So when I am, because I've had off days where I am like I've had like a nightmare client, and thank goodness it's been a few, just a few. But you know what I mean, where they're and those are usually the clients that they shouldn't have been my clients to begin with.
no, that's
And
right.
I'm getting very good about deciphering that and
Right,
say actually turning work away because of that.
right,
Because I just feel that it puts me in a negative place, or a place where I'm second guessing myself
right,
and rethinking my value and worth.
right,
And so
right,
I don't want to surround myself with people like that. And I'm
right.
not saying that you only like, um, so, there's going to be people that challenge you. That's different. Um, does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense, and it's the same thing with our partners.
Hmm.
So, you can be with somebody that accepts you. I mean, it's a clicking thing, right? Like
Hmm.
you either click with someone or you don't.
Hmm.
I'm starting to realize that even with a text or a email. Is this person going to be a good fit for
Right.
me? Am
Right.
I going to be
Right.
a good fit for this person? Right. And so you're not trying to be all things to all people. And
No, I'm just trying to feel my value
Right.
and that I can still, you know what I mean? And it really is a connection. When I connect with other people, I feel that I'm more connected with myself.
Yeah.
Does that make
Well, yeah,
sense?
absolutely. Yes. And you do need to be connected with yourself in order to enjoy sex. You just do. I
Hmm.
mean, think about what you're saying. Of course, you have to be
Hmm.
connected with yourself. When we were younger,
Of
we didn't
course.
think any through it, right? We didn't think
No,
through
it was
that
just
because
more
we're
hormones
hormones,
than anything.
right? Our hormones were driving everything. Well, that's not the case anymore. But yet we still
Mhm.
crave it. We know and I do believe that, even though a lot of us sit there and go, oh well, it's too much trouble and I'm tired and all that. And it's true. It's true. It's true. It's
Mhm.
true. But on the same, while all of that is floating here, on the other hand of you, or the other side of you, you're sitting there going, but I really would love it. I would love to be able to let my hair down enough. I would love not to worry
Mhm.
about tomorrow. I would love to just
Mhm.
enjoy it and not have to worry about all the BS that goes with it.
Well, yeah,
So,
it's and honestly, when it comes down to it, it's intimacy. And we're not
what
talking
is it,
intimacy.
intimacy with your partner or intimacy with yourself?
Intimacy with yourself. I mean, and yes, it's great when you reach that with your partner, and we're not talking physical intimacy, but again, it's that where it's like for me, it has to be mental. It has to be mental, or else I am like I don't feel like we will connect any other way
Right.
because that leads to it. Um, so I need to feel like I'm understood, I'm valued, I am um, that I'm honored and respected.
Yeah,
And
well, that's big. That's our generation, by the way, the
uh,
honored and because I hear things with with these young
but we're
people.
not talking about like, oh, okay, like respected and because it's still indecent and dirty. But
No,
but you
no,
know what I mean. As
yeah,
far as in like you as a person,
right.
like your thoughts, your what you say matters.
Well, we need to feel safe as a human being.
Period.
Where, yeah, that's just it. We just need to feel safe. And again, I'm sorry, but it's a generational thing because kids today, they don't need that. It's
Mhm.
not sex and respect are not two of the same thing. Sex is sex. And I have never been one to be able to just have sex. I've tried and it doesn't work for me. But
Mhm.
I know that a lot of people it does work for and they're happy with that. They're good with that. But I think at the
I
end of
think
the
in the
day,
beginning, I think in the beginning, yeah, you can say that it's just sex. But if it continues with that same person, then it can evolve to where you need more.
for some people,
Hmm.
for us,
Hmm.
I wouldn't say
Well,
that's true for everybody.
for for me back, the 20-year-old me would probably say differently.
Mm, the 20-year-old, no, it wouldn't. The 20-year-old you would not say differently. The 20 of
In the
your
beginning,
Okay, let me say
because
this. The
okay, because
20-year-old you,
you know where the bodies are buried.
I know where they are. That's what I'm telling you. The 20-year-old you told you that,
Hmm.
but I don't believe
Uh-huh.
the 20-year-old really believed it.
I, I I think well, certain people, certain relationships. The 20-year-old was like okay with a couple of
Well, and that's okay. But it wasn't serial.
no, it wasn't serial, but there were certain interactions that were okay with what it was. It was more of the challenge, it was more of the
Yeah.
learning your power kind of deal. Those are all stepping stones.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true too. That whole power thing was a big deal.
yeah, I mean, there was no thinking about, wow, will he like me afterwards or anything. It was just more so, let's just get this over and done with because it's just been torturing us for the whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And for
and
me,
you know this
yeah,
because
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but
yeah.
there were now the okay, so the 50-year-old us.
I could never, the 50-year-old us
I
could,
don't think I could be in that situation. I might be, I don't know. So God forbid anything happens to
God,
spouses.
God
God
forbid.
forbid. I don't know. I think I would probably be, I would have a mourning period, obviously. I mean, but don't you feel like there's sometimes I think I would be that girl at the buffet that hasn't had a carb in like a month or 10 years or something like that. You know what I mean? Right?
I'm sorry, but that was just so funny. I mean, of course there'll be a mourning period,
Of
but
course.
of course there'll be a mourning period. Um, I here's my problem.
But then I wouldn't want to break anyone in. I like be in a long-term relationship, I
Oh
think.
no, I'm not breaking anybody in. If God forbid anything should happen to my lovely, um, and after the said mourning period,
Hmm.
um, I do not think that I would remarry. In fact, I know I
No.
wouldn't.
Oh God, no.
I wouldn't.
I
I've
didn't
done
think
it.
so.
I've done it. We've done what we wanted to do as a married couple in terms of have a family and, raise children
We accomplished,
and
yeah, we accomplished a great life.
yeah. I don't have any intentions of replaying that or recreating that with another person. None. That's just me.
That's me too.
Um,
I don't think I
I,
could. Well, I don't
I
know.
couldn't do
I
it.
mean, you know what happens is the people that say they can won't are the ones that do it first in
Yeah,
like
I don't think I
five
could.
minutes.
First of all, I'll go before him. I'm a hot mess. With that said, if God forbid that didn't happen, I'll tell you what I would do because I don't like to be hemmed in. I don't really like that at all. And I don't like anybody telling me what to do. And I don't like to be, like have, one way of doing things. I would be with a cowboy. I would be with a business
I'm
person,
ready. I've already written down my list. I would be the cowboy. What's the second one?
a business guy, right? Mr. Preppy Pants.
Hmm.
Okay. Is that even a thing anymore? Preppy Pants?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Whatever. Buttoned up, Mr. Buttoned Up. Who else am I
Mr. Suit and
interested in?
Tie. How's that?
Mr. Suit and Tie, Mr. Suit and
Okay.
Tie, Mr. Class, Mr. Class, Mr. Cowboy, Mr. Class. Um, let's see, who else would
Would
I
you
be
go with a
interested in?
younger guy?
I don't think.
Yeah.
We'll define younger.
Oh, I would say 5, 10 years. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
your stepdad is a lot younger, isn't he? Than you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would do 5, 10 years. Past that, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. I'm not into some 20, 30-year-old boy.
I
Not at
don't
all.
even. I don't even. Would 20 or 30 year olds even look at us? No, I take that back.
No. Well, you they do. You they
I was going to
do.
say I had a 25 year old. I
Yeah.
think the youngest has been a 25 year old.
I don't have any of those people looking at me. If they are, they're looking at me to like make a transaction. They're like, dude, can you please pay with your card so that I can check you out of this transaction? You know, whatever it is, grocery store. No, I don't have young men are not interested in me. But old men generally are, and I'm not into that either. But I would totally do 5, 10 years younger than me. But again, there would be a lot of variables in there because I'm not doing anything. I'm just not in that place, right?
Hmm.
So
Okay, we're digressing.
what was that topic?
What was the topic? Okay, so we were talking about
Sex
how do we
drive.
bring it back and what
Okay.
does it for us.
Right.
And you said you needed to have like optimal conditions. I
Yeah.
said I needed um, to be connected,
Mhm.
like myself.
Right.
Um, and then, okay, so I know that I went through a period where I, not at all. And there was a lot of hormonal changes going on. Like I said, I had a period for a straight year. And then, and I was dealing again with the loss of another child.
Mhm.
So, I was very uncomfortable with my body. I did not like my body. Um, and I needed to learn how to make peace with it. So What brought you back to, I mean, because you had the medical or the surgical menopause. What brought you back? What actually helped you to start having sex again?
Um, so for me, it was a lot of the medical interventions. It was the hormone replacement therapy. It was the refresh, like I talked about, the vaginal stuff, the coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the other piece of it is, this is really, I don't know how this is going to come off, but it's the truth. I need to be away. So when we go somewhere else, I'm way more amorous than I am when we're here in this house.
Mm-hmm.
That may change when my family's gone. That may change when I don't have kids in the house. I just can't seem to relax but it
Well,
unless
you got to step out of mom mode.
yeah,
You got to
I
step
do.
out of that mom role,
I do.
because in your house, that's all that is.
Yeah.
It's not a place that
No,
you and your
no,
spouse have been in together alone ever. You moved into that house with children.
right. It's true. We moved in with Zach and then we had one after the other. And so we have no red room. We have no space. Our kids don't have any kind of our kids have no boundaries. Like they're not we never taught our children that mommy and daddy have private time.
Mhm.
We never did that. So we have no space. So for me, really right now, while my kids are in my house, we've got to get out of here. And it's not
Okay.
that I don't think my husband's handsome or anything. I do. I actually do. I really think that my husband is good looking. I think he is. I find him really attractive. But it has nothing to do with that. It's all about me. I can honestly tell you, it's all about me and not being able to relax. And when I'm relaxed, then I'm able to do the things like the coconut oil and all. That still has to happen. And there
Mhm.
has to be an okay with it. There has to be an acceptance of this is the new normal.
Yeah, not going to be any spontaneity involved.
No, not anymore. I mean, there can be spontaneity, but it still has to stop with wait, where's the coconut oil? All right, we got to wrap this up. What is our takeaway? What's our takeaway?
Um, I think first and foremost, whatever you can do to connect with yourself. Um, and what is that? It's being at peace with your body. It's finding out again what, for lack of a better term, pleasures you, because that might have changed from the time that you were in your 20s
Right,
till now.
right.
So whether you need to do some alone time and figure that out for yourself. Yeah, and don't make it sound like it's taboo. Huh?
Need some alone time to figure that out.
Yeah, alone time. Not alone time like I need a bath. Alone time where you're doing some self-exploration.
You're kidding.
um, I think also you got to figure out what does it for you, honestly, because that again has changed.
That's changed, and it is a little more agile these days, right? Like because even for you, not just for you, but with your partner, how's his hips doing? Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that you talked about, like finding because things do change. When I was
Mm-hmm.
younger, I know without going into complete depth, I can tell you exactly what would work every time, and it's just not like that anymore. And
Not
so,
at all, right?
not at all.
Completely, like a complete departure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know that for me was getting out of my head. I always say this, but getting out of my head of what it should look like and what it really is, and those are two different things. You really have to get out of your head of what Hollywood has made you think it's supposed to look like.
And the other thing, and I know people too, they're like, "Oh, I put a mirror on the ceiling and it was great." And I was like, "Ooh," because I don't want to see me. I don't think sex in general is attractive, like real un-Hollywood sex.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like I,
Yeah and no. I think you have to change your lens.
yeah,
You have to get it again, like what you thought. Remember, we just were uncomfortable looking at ourselves in the mirror. You have to get
right,
comfortable looking at yourself in the mirror in a fried, what is it, fried green tomatoes way.
right. Well, yeah. Yeah, everybody made a joke about that, but well, I don't know about that part, but in
Mhm.
general, you have to be very comfortable with yourself
Mhm.
in
Yes.
order to be comfortable in bed.
Mhm. And I know that your level of confidence makes you so much hotter, so much more attractive.
Yeah.
I mean, I am the same. I think I want to say I'm the same weight, give or take 10 pounds that I was before I started Pilates and doing things for myself. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but once I started feeling better about myself, and not necessarily physically, but just in general, appreciative of my body rather than looking at all its flaws. Um, I don't know if it's an energy or a vibe or anything of that sort, but I can't even tell you how many times I would get compliments, and a lot of them from younger men, which was interesting to me because I'd be like, "Excuse me, sir, are you lost?" Or I'm thinking they're trying to make a sale, or like there was some like ulterior motive why they would be speaking to an older woman. So I think once you can feel comfortable with your body, your skin, your with who you are, that is the sexiest thing that you can, or accessory that you can do for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree 100%. And I really think that's probably the biggest takeaway.
Hmm.
You
Exactly.
just
I mean,
you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
yeah. I mean, how when I was out there, didn't a man? You were wearing this dress for the built party, and you went to the grocery store, and
Oh, yeah.
you felt like you were being squeezed into that dress, and you kept saying, "Do I look like a sausage?" And when you went to the store and came back, you were like, "This man followed me in the store, and he was very respectful, but he just said, 'Oh my God, can I just tell you how beautiful you are?'"
That's true. I forgot about that.
I
That's
mean,
exactly what
you forget that all the time, but
I
it
forget it
happens to
all
you.
the time. What? Yes, I'm filming. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, my angel. Unlike you, I did not bring refills.
Oh, yeah. You mean this?
What kind of wine is that? Show me.
You know what it is? It's Dofo. Remember Wendy turned us onto that?
You bitch.
Yeah.
You have a GoPro? You
Yes.
bitch.
So my Steve and I are now like I kept telling Steve every time we would go out to Temecula, I'd be all like, Steve, we gotta go to Dofo. And he's like, no, we don't have time. And finally I got him to go out there, and oh my God, he is in love with that place. So,
That's
now
the
we're
best
like,
red wine I've ever had.
how is it that every single wine they have is amazing?
I don't know.
So yeah, we're
I
members.
don't know.
We're like crazy members. Like every time we go out there, we come back with a case members.
I hate you.
All
Maybe
right,
I'll
when you
order.
come out, because I have, wine now. But what did you get? You got the
I got the
Bev.
Bev Blanc. No, I love it, but not like a Adobo. No preservatives, no sugar.
Hmm.
It's zero sugar. It's like little teeny, it's like zippy and a little fizzy. That's what they
Hmm.
call it. And it's no, I'll tell you why I really love it. I do love this stuff, even though I have this thing with like smash
I like how you squeezed it to get every last
no.
drop.
Um, it's great for like it really is natural. It
Mhm.
doesn't have any preservatives in it. There's no sugar in it, and I literally can drink it and the next day feel like I'm not hungover. And I'm one that gets headaches and all kinds of stuff. And this really prevents that. With that said, I really love. I'm having a hard time drinking red wine lately because I am so into Dofo. There's just Dofo is so thick and full bodied and delicious that it's just hard for me to get behind anything else.
Okay.
Other than I will say the closest I've ever had is Gergage Wineries,
Where's
which
that
I
one?
believe is in Napa Valley.
Okay. Hey, we need to go there. We haven't gone to Napa. We've gone to Central Coast together. We've gone to Temecula together. Maybe that's our next girls' trip.
I think that's our next girls trip, Napa.
Yeah, that'd be great. Which we need to plan because
Because I'm getting miserable. Okay, listen, we have to wrap it up.
okay.
All right. What's your takeaway, my friend? What's your last thing?
My
Last
takeaway is, the self exploration. It's helped tremendously, but also the I like how you're like, because I'm all like, okay, Heather, you just need to buy this one.
you guys have no idea. And it's funny because my husband is like really interested in what Crystal's picks. Anyway, go right ahead. More so than me, but go ahead.
And then just finding a place where you can be connected with yourself, like, and that is like getting, again, I always say this, getting out of your head and thinking that you are undeserving of being touched, because you have a role, or there's sag, there's scars, there's stretch marks. um I don't think your partner is thinking about that at all, and if he is, he should not be in that bed with you,
That's exactly right. That's the takeaway. If
or
your
she should
partner,
not be in that bed with you,
or she, that's
whatever.
true. Right.
Hmm.
If your partner thinks of you what you think your partner is thinking, then you should not be in bed with that person or
Yeah.
on the
Well,
beach
I
or in
think
the
too is
back
we
of the
checked a
car.
lot of our. Mhm, in a car. um, God, you got to be real bendy for the car. I
I
remember,
can't do the car
I
anymore.
saw a scene like that. Or what makes me laugh is the one scene from Titanic, and she's got the hand and everything, and I just laugh because it's like,
Please,
please,
please.
first of all, that's never gonna. Well, it had to
Not
be like a
now.
van or something.
It doesn't happen now. There was a time when the car was doable.
Yes, and I remember kicking a windshield and cracking it.
Did you really?
It was in a truck, so yeah, it was easy too. But like, oh God, okay,
Okay,
we
but
only
we
went to see.
digress. We digress.
We're
No, I
digressing.
never did.
Um,
I didn't do the truck thing, but the car thing was doable.
the car thing used to be
Not
doable,
anymore.
unless it's a minivan now. But then, what makes you feel sexy in a minivan? Nothing. So
I don't know. Nothing in a minivan.
nothing, nothing. So again, the whole connection with yourself, and I think you provided some valuable tools because there are things like, therefore, I'm not excited or turned on because I'm not lubed up. I think those things like refresh, I'm definitely going to order that, and I'm going to do it through Amazon because I'm totally embarrassed to like go through um, Rite Aid or CVS because they know us.
I go to Walmart for it. I like, wait, well, wait, I haven't had a period in 10 years, and yet
Mhm.
I have to get all the period stuff for my girls. So
Mhm.
there I am. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Pads, refresh,
Mhm.
Vagisil. I mean, everybody
You
knows
just
what's
go.
going
You
on.
just walk through the aisle going, psh, 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 psh. Just
Like we have vaginal issues.
clearing out the whole.
I wear a sign, vaginal issues. And then on top of that, I'm floored at all the products that are out there now.
Mhm.
Like floored. I will say one thing.
They did not
There,
have those things when we were
no, no,
like.
they
Remember
didn't.
those mattresses that we had to wear, and then
Yes.
tampons too. Oh my
That's
god.
why they called it the cotton pony.
Oh, I've never heard that.
You never heard
I was
about
so
riding the cotton pony?
no,
No.
but I was so thrilled when Always came out with the wings. Oh my god, that was like a lifesaver.
Well, now they've got the shit that I never even heard of. I'm actually jealous. I'm actually a
Hmm.
little bitter.
Yes.
There's, right? Like there's, non-choline and non-chlorine.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's light days, which we did have. We had all of that, but
We would have to buy separate boxes. It's not all in one box.
right. And now they've got technology that like sucks and dries. And I mean, like, I'm
Mhm.
like, damn. But okay, all right, right, right. We got to wrap this up. So what I want to say, leaving with this whole thing is know your body. Don't be afraid to be prepared for the situation, because if you're not prepared, then that's always in the back of your head as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be comfortable in your own skin, for
So
God's
the
sakes.
reason I have to be really regular about my wax appointments.
You just
Yeah,
shave.
I can't. I get cut up, and it's just no, and then it's no.
I'll tell you, I
Waxing,
have cut myself.
waxing,
I have cut myself, and that's an ugly situation. But
yes,
the
waxing lasts longer for me. I mean, really, 6 weeks.
I know, but it hurts like hell
You've been through childbirth. What the fuck is wrong with you?
because I don't need to do 6 weeks of childbirth.
It takes 2 seconds, and it actually, when I was doing it on the regular, and then the pandemic hit, but I got up to like 8 weeks between
So
things. I need to get back in the schedule. Okay,
go get yourself waxed. I can't do it. That's probably another topic we could talk about.
like grooming
Yeah,
all over.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably a good
because
topic.
the hair in the weird places now from freaking hormone,
That is just
right?
freaky. And on
Right.
top of that, I don't know what my gynecologist is to expect and what like is inappropriate for him to have to look at. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
I've had a conversation with my former gynecologist before I switched insurances, and he says they don't even see, and it was a guy. They don't even
He
notice.
said he doesn't see the grooming.
No,
Okay.
I asked, and he was a good-looking one, and I still
Well,
had to.
I don't know that I could go to a good looking gynecologist.
Well,
I don't
I
think I
didn't notice that because I was so in my head, and then I showed a picture of him holding my child, and
oh,
they're like, "Oh my god, how did you let this good-looking guy look down there?" And I'm all like, "Well, I didn't
scooch,
notice that until now, and now I'm like, now I feel self-conscious."
scooch. Come down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I can't do it. Not
Yeah.
with a good. I don't even know. Actually, I have to go gynecologist the more I'm thinking about it. All right, we're wrapping this up. Okay. So that's my takeaway is you've got to change your expectations. You know what you want, you know what you like, you've got to take care of it for yourself and do what you need to do for you, because I truly believe that if you're struggling here, it has more to do with you and nothing to do with your partner. I think it has to do with your perception of you, your perception of sex in general, and biologically what's going on with you in terms of hormones and things. And
Mhm.
there's things that we can do to turn that around.
Yeah, how old is that lens is that you're looking at yourself? You know what I mean? Are
Oh,
you
yeah,
looking
I was
at
like, "What do
yourself?
you mean? That's not a bad camera." Oh,
No,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Is like, are you looking at yourself through a 13-year-old's lens? Are you looking at yourself through a 21-year-old's lens? Or a partner that really didn't have any significance, um, except for the fact that he said something and made you feel unworthy?
Did you have that?
Huh? Oh,
Have you
no, no,
had
no, no. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, I'm
no,
just saying in general, what lens are you looking at yourself through now? Or,
I do.
hmm?
I'm always trying to look at myself, and I can tell you right now, I'm always thinking that I'm gonna be that girl again that's, like, free, and when I say that, I was never really ultra promiscuous. I know it's shocking. I had to have more of a most of the time. Not to say I haven't had a few flings. Most of the time, I've had a cerebral connection more so than I should have had, probably. Meaning that I convinced myself that it was not something more, but then it was, you know.
Mhm,
But that's my own probably insecurities and my own stuff that I was taught about this subject, right? Like
mhm,
you, when you love someone very much. And then I tried to fake the 80s, 90s girl that was, cool and down with all of it. And then, and when I say fake, not to my partner, but to me.
that you'd be okay with just like a
Yes.
physical. relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the truth is that I just wasn't. At the end of the day, that's just not who I was. And I don't even know that somebody that I could ever be. And I have no judgment against, like, I wish I could be that person. I wish I could be somebody that was more free and wasn't, didn't have their whole mind and body tied up in something like that. I think it's healthier, to be honest.
Hmm.
But it's just not how I was.
Uh-huh.
So I think that when you talk about like what somebody said about you or whatever, blah, 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 um, I would take that totally to heart because I was very much into the person that I was with,
Hmm.
even if I didn't admit it, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay, so if any of my ex-boyfriends are watching there, I'm in trouble.
Mhm.
But then how many of our ex-boyfriends are going to watch this?
No, I hope not. And um, so yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily have a relationship with a lot of my partners.
Right,
There was like a mental connection, but
right, right.
but I think like anything, as you evolved and you realize that um, you get tired of those type of relationships
Mhm. Oh
and you
yeah,
need something more.
yeah.
So, and then I think I think both are good. I
Mhm.
think they both teach you a lot about your mental
Right.
and physical state. And like you said, it's not one way or the other. Every interaction that you have, physical or mental, with another person teaches you what you like and don't like.
Oh, I don't think that I've never made any mistakes with anybody I've ever dated because they've taught me exactly, they brought me to where I am today. I
Exactly.
have no ill will to anyone I've ever dated, even the ones that kind of ended messy, and there's a couple, but
Hmm.
there's no ill will because they were really a reflection of where I was at that time and what I needed to learn.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm sure you were very unforgettable.
I don't know about that, but I would say the same about you.
Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe. Maybe they
That
still
breaks
try
the fire alarm. Woo! It's hot in here.
the timing on it.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so takeaway again is finding connection with yourself
Yep.
first and foremost, getting out of the of your head, and then figuring out what does it for you now,
Right.
right?
Right. What does it for you? But that does it for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, love you.
Love you too. We're thoroughly buzzed. Goodbye.
I am.
Goodbye, all yins. If you're from Pittsburgh, goodbye, all yins. You
What
yous
is
and
that?
yins.
What is that?
Oh God, that's a whole other episode. Yins is you. Like goodbye, y'all. Bye, y'all. But in Pittsburgh, it's yins.
Really? I've never heard that. Y'all,
Yeah, it's a thing.
I
It's
just
a
learned so
thing.
much. All right, love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
See you on the other side.